Hey there, fellow pepper enthusiasts. If you're growing peppers in your garden, you already know there's something incredibly satisfying about watching those plants develop from tiny seedlings into productive powerhouses loaded with colorful fruits. But let's be real for a moment. Peppers can be temperamental, and they seem to attract every pest and disease within a 5-mile radius. I've been there, standing in my garden at dawn, coffee in hand, wondering why my beautiful pepper plants suddenly look like they've been through a war zone. Today we're diving deep into pest management and disease control specifically for peppers, because protecting your plants doesn't have to feel like an uphill battle. Before we jump into solutions, let's talk about why peppers seem to be such magnets for problems. Peppers belong to the nightshade family, alongside tomatoes, eggplants, and potatoes, which means they share similar vulnerabilities. Their tender leaves, sweet fruits, and succulent stems are basically an all-you-can-eat buffet for garden pests. Additionally, peppers prefer warm, humid conditions for growth, but these same conditions create the perfect environment for fungal and bacterial diseases to thrive. Understanding this fundamental challenge helps us develop a proactive rather than reactive approach to plant health. Aphids are probably going to be your first unwelcome visitors. These tiny pear-shaped insects cluster on new growth in the undersides of leaves, sucking out plant juices and leaving behind a sticky residue called honeydew. I've found that a strong blast of water from the hose works wonders for small infestations, especially if you do it consistently every few days. For more persistent problems, introducing beneficial insects like ladybugs and lacewings creates a natural control system that keeps working even when you're not in the garden. It's like having tiny garden helpers on duty around the clock. If you need to step up your game, insecticidal soap or neem oil applied in the early morning or evening will knock back populations without harming beneficial insects as much. It's a gentle yet effective approach to managing those pesky invaders. Spider mites are sneakier and often go unnoticed until you see fine webbing on your plants or leaves that look stippled and pale. Keeping an eye out for these signs can help you catch them before they become a real problem. These microscopic pests love hot, dry conditions, so maintaining adequate humidity around your plants through regular watering and mulching helps prevent infestations. When they do appear, neem oil becomes your best friend, but you need to spray thoroughly, hitting the undersides of leaves where these little troublemakers hide. I've learned to look for their dark droppings on leaves as a telltale sign of their presence. Hand-picking is actually the most effective control method because these caterpillars are large enough to spot once you know what to look for. Alright, so here's a handy tip for you. Check your plants in the early morning or evening when they're most active. If you find one covered in white cocoons, just leave it alone. Those are parasitic wasp eggs, and trust me, those wasps will help control future hornworm populations. Pretty neat, huh? Now, let's talk about thrips control. Yellow sticky traps placed around your pepper plants can really help monitor and reduce their populations. And here's another trick. Reflective mulches, like aluminum foil or reflective plastic, can disorient thrips and reduce their landing on your plants. Give it a try. Since thrips can develop resistance to pesticides pretty quickly, it's a good idea to rotate between neem oil, spinosad, and insecticidal soap. This keeps them guessing and maintains the effectiveness of your pest control efforts. It's all about staying one step ahead. Fungal diseases are where pepper growers often face their biggest challenges, and trust me, I've lost more plants to disease than I care to admit before learning these lessons. Early blight and late blight create dark spots on leaves that eventually spread and kill foliage. The key to managing these diseases is keeping foliage dry. Water at the base of plants early in the day so leaves have time to dry, and space plants adequately to promote air circulation. Bacterial spot is particularly frustrating because it creates ugly lesions on both leaves and fruits, making your peppers unmarketable even if they're technically edible. This disease loves warm, wet conditions and spreads through water splash. Using drip irrigation instead of overhead watering makes a tremendous difference. This soil-borne pathogen survives for years, making crop rotation absolutely essential. Never plant peppers or other nightshades in the same spot more than once every 3 years. The absolute best defense against both pests and diseases is growing strong, healthy plants from the start. This means preparing your soil properly with plenty of compost, ensuring adequate but not excessive nitrogen, and providing consistent moisture through mulching. Start each season by selecting disease-resistant varieties when possible, preparing your soil thoroughly and planting proper spacing.